everybody, and welcome to Unaired, the show where we take TV shows canceled with episodes left unaired, review them, and then pitch our ideas for how we think they could have continued. I'm here with Andy today. I'm Ed. Now, Andy, It's a special month.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it's my favorite time of the year, honestly. I'm just so happy that we're back here working with, honestly, one of the hardest working actors in all of Hollywood. I mean, I think it would be an honor to get him on the show, but I think by doing this worship every year, hopefully we can create our own living, breathing Jason Bateman.
Yes, it is Bateman-uary again. So we covered, I would say, problematic show. It's called Sit Down, Shut Up. It aired in 2009. It didn't actually air during the main season. It was during a strange time. It wasn't even summer, like a summer show, because it started in April.
Yeah,
and ended in November.
I mean, I remember this show totally flying under the radar because of, like, Fox, and even, I'd say they even do this to a lesser extent now, but Fox always has these shows that fill in weird programming gaps, and specifically weird gaps in the animation hour or whatever that they do. Because for a while they used to have like Animation Domination or something like that.
Yeah, it was Animation Domination was, I think, American Dad, King of the Hill, Family Guy, and The Simpsons.
Right. And then I think they wanted to continue that trend by coming up with new shows that were Family Guy-esque. And you know, I think this inherits all of the worst features of what that could mean.
That was definitely a trend that they had going, because I think once American Dad ended, once King of the Hill ended, and then once Cleveland Show was all gone, those all happened at different times, and throughout that time, they needed a fourth show for their animation slot on Sunday. And they would just rotate in these one-hit wonder shows, one-season wonder shows. There was at one point where Napoleon Dynamite had an animated show.
Yes. And actually, they still do this now. Like, I look at Fox, and, like, you know, you have The Simpsons and Bob's Burgers, but then beyond that, like, any other kind of show that tries to fit into that block always kind of has the same fate, or at least has the same kind of vibe as this show, where it's just like, it's got good people in it, but there's something very off about it, and I do not trust this show.
Yeah, I was surprised the amount of talent that was in this show. So, this show was made by Mitchell Hurwitz.
Arrested Development.
Exactly, of Arrested Development fame. And you can tell because he cast a lot of Arrested Development stars in it. So, it has Will Arnett as Ennis, who is the English teacher. Jason Bateman as Larry, the PE teacher. Kristen Chenoweth as Miracle, the science teacher. Will Forte as Stuart, the assistant principal. Tom Kenny as Happy.
Oh boy.
That's
a whole thing in and of itself.
Yeah, so Happy is a Middle Eastern character, and his name is Muhammad Sabi, but they call him Happy. And his character speaks entirely in Arabic, but they dub it over in English.
With Tom Kenny. And, you know, I have to say, there is some level of me that thinks that was an intentional decision after the show had been written or, like, animated, because I feel like a lot of the jokes with that character specifically were drawn back on.
Yeah, it does have that feel. So we also have Nick Kroll as Andrew, the drama teacher.
That was Nick Kroll?
That was Nick Kroll.
Wow.
Nick Kroll has this ability to be a voice actor, and I never know it's him. Like, he was the hormone monster on Big Mouth. I did not know that was him.
Yeah, I always assumed that was
Will Arnett.
Oh, really? I thought it was D. Bradley Baker or whatever. Diedrich whatever from
Diedrich Bader, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was Nick Kroll. And we have Sherry O'Terry as Helen, who is the librarian. Kenan Thompson as Sue, which I spent the entire episode, within the last, 5 minutes, I was like, oh, that's Kenan Thompson. I couldn't figure it out the whole time. I was like, who is that? I know that voice.
Yeah, I picked up on that pretty quick because that character pretty quickly became my favorite character.
Oh, yeah. And we have Henry Winkler as Willard, who is the German teacher. So we get a little introduction to this show with a "Welcome to Knob Haven, Florida" sign. That's literally right into it, Knob Haven.
It's great. It's smart.
Yeah.
If there's one thing about this show that I can just say off the bat, it's that the delivery of the jokes is not very subtle.
No, it's like they put the jokes on a baseball bat and then they swung it at your face 3 times.
I mean, like, isn't the first joke of the show about Will Arnett's nuts or something?
Yeah, he says, "Oh, I can't feel my nuts," while he's driving. Reaches down to search for his nuts. Surprise, it's a bag of peanuts. Meanwhile, he runs over a bunch of bicyclists.
Yeah, he literally runs over kids.
And then he sees Happy. Well, first off, we get a little introduction. Almost like a game show or dating game show, like where it like pops up with their face and like some facts.
I that's the one thing I liked about the show was that like intro to everybody. Like they all had like report cards or something, you know?
Exactly. And it gives them each a catchphrase. Ennis is "Catchphrases are for losers."
It's perfect.
Larry's is "Why can't someone else teach PE?" Miracle's is "Babies are gifts from God. Drummers are creeps."
Yeah, is there supposed to be like a pro-life message to that? Or like, I don't know, I got some like anti-vaxxer vibes from that character.
100%, that's what the character's supposed to be.
Damn. And this was 2009, people. Fox is woke.
Fox is so ahead of the time.
Yeah, yeah, this show is so progressive.
I mean, look at The Simpsons. Look at Family Guy.
Yeah. Look at Apu. Look at Happy.
Stewart's catchphrase is "I need a catchphrase."
Yes.
Happy's is "I am fond of America."
Well, it's not that originally. He starts to say like, doesn't he start to say like "Death to America" and they like dub it over?
Yeah, they dub it over.
Classic Jeff Dunham.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Do you think we could get Jeff Dunham on this show?
I think we could get Jeff Dunham anywhere. I think what we need to do is get a Papa John's gift certificate signed by John himself. And then I think we can get Jeff Dunham to basically, you know, give us a little ink.
What? Wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
What? Give us a little ink?
Yeah, give us a little ink.
Like an inkling?
No. You know, he's going to, you know, send some ink our way.
Does that mean he's going to autograph something?
No. No, come on. He's a... I really don't want to have to say this on the show, but Jeff Dunham is an octopus.
Oh, that would explain so much.
Yeah, I hate that you brought that out of me. We've talked about this.
Wait, so does that mean his face is actually a tentacle?
Yep.
And he's speaking from his actual mouth. So that way, like, he's double ventriloquizing. Ventriloquizmizing? I don't know. How do you say that? Ventriloquizmizing?
Vandalism. That's how we say it. Yeah.
Okay.
Violation. Yeah, you're right. Jeff Dunham is very talented as an octopus. As a human being, not talented.
No, not at all. But now that you've revealed that he's an octopus, I see him in a whole new light.
And we gotta get him on the show. ASAP.
I do want to point out, I meant on this show, Sit Down, Shut Up, not on Unaired.
Oh, I thought you meant on Unaired.
No, I would not want an octopus on this show.
Well, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense because you didn't want the ink. And now, you know, we're not going to walk through this joke again. We're just going to keep on moving and remind everybody that Jeff Dunham is actively touring. So if you'd like to get tickets for his tour, just head over to jeffdunham.com.
/unaired.
Yeah, we got to get those proceeds.
So Andrew's catchphrase is "Speak Up." Helen's is "Quiet Down." Sue is "No," which makes sense because her character's full name is Sue Says No.
Yeah. Ha ha ha.
And Willard's is "If I believed in reincarnation, I'd kill myself tonight."
I think he has the best arc out of anybody in the show.
Yeah, and it's... How do you think they approached Henry Winkler, of all people, to get that role?
You see, I was thinking of that as I was watching the show, and I think I think with many of the people in this show, it's exclusively because the show is made by the creator of Arrested Development. I feel like a lot of people were just doing him a favor by doing this pilot.
That's true. It could have been like they didn't get a script at first either. They were just like, oh, Mitchell Hurwitz is working on this. Do you want to work with him? And they was like, of course I want to. I've seen Arrested Development.
Well, yeah, and especially like with a voiceover show too, or animated shows, it's just like, it's easier on the part of the actor to commit to something like that because, I don't know, they probably felt the hype of Arrested Development, and around 2009, did it just go off the air?
I think it was earlier than that, because 2004 is when it premiered, I believe.
Right.
2004 or 2005.
And I think there were like 3 or 4 seasons. So
yeah,
it was off. But yeah, I feel like people were trying to capitalize on like, ooh, this is going to be the next like big thing.
Yeah, especially with animation was still, like, that was their big block. But
yeah. Right around when Walt Disney died, you know.
Yeah. When he reincarnated. So we get the introduction to Happy because he sees Happy on a bike. I believe it was on a bike. And then doesn't he run him over?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, he does. Because he screams at it. Oh, God. Classic Jeff.
Yeah. Then we see a car with Helen and Andrew in it. Andrew's dancing. Helen says, I wish you wouldn't dance to my Kegel exercise tape.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. They have their whole dynamic. And so they overdo it because Andrew's supposed to be like extremely flamboyant and over the top. And he's the drama teacher. And Helen, they make this very masculine woman, I guess.
Yeah.
Which they explain a little bit later that she has testosterone. And that's why she takes female hormones. And that's a big plot point of this episode.
And boy, howdy, isn't that funny, folks? Isn't that funny? A woman who needs to take the estrogen to be a more a lady? Isn't that a funny?
Yeah, I think they watched Family Guy and said, how do we outdo this?
I think I can do this.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing, too. I mean, there's 2 things about the show that really confuses me. The first one is that it is a Mitchell Hurwitz show, which isn't that confusing, I guess, because Arrested Development can get a little blue sometimes. But I'd say the other thing that confuses me is that, and I don't know if you knew this, but apparently this show is based on a live-action Australian comedy series.
Yeah, it was another one-season show aired in 2001. And that's one thing that freaked me out a little bit about this show, was that the backgrounds were all live action.
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, I suppose that saves a lot because I know a lot of time is spent in scenic art, like the background artists and things like that. But still, it's like unsettling watching that.
It's like when you see Swedish Chef from the Muppets and he has human hands but a puppet face.
Or a big old dong.
You know, we've never seen the Swedish Chef's dong. Is he circumcised?
I mean, what do you think's in his mouth? Why do you think he talks like that?
I'm sorry, are you saying that his foreskin is in his mouth?
Yeah, he's chewing on it. It's his cud. He's been chewing on it for a while. Look, I think about these things a lot. I've read a lot of books about Jim Henson, and I'd say that the Swedish Chef is most likely chewing on his own foreskin.
That would explain a lot.
I think it would explain everything. I think we would get out of this mess we've been in since the 2016 election, Edward, if people would just own up to this truth.
You heard it here first, folks. Breaking news. Swedish Chef. He's nomming on foreskin.
It's happening. It's real.
So, as that's happening, as we get the whole Kegel argument, a ambulance drives by, and they say, don't worry about that ambulance. It's probably just Willard trying to get a free ride to school. We go inside the ambulance. It's Willard. And he's saying, oh, you guys can just let me off here. I can't like skip work, otherwise I don't get paid. They say, well, we have to shock you or we don't get paid. They shock him. They push him out of the ambulance. And immediately he gets hit by Miracle, who has bumper stickers saying, God will protect me, all over her windshield. And she says, oh, I can't see anything with these God will protect me windshield stickers. Well, I guess that's kind of the point.
It's true.
She has a baby named Merch. I don't know if that was like kind of a commentary.
Yeah, I didn't get the joke on that one. I was having trouble with that.
I think it's supposed to be like a commentary on like, oh, it's this like cute sellable character, like how Baby Yoda, everybody's scrambling for Baby Yoda merch.
Oh, like Stewie.
Yeah.
Oh, smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, attack Family Guy. Smart.
Yeah, take them down a peg.
Because your show is so much smarter than Family Guy.
Stuart pulls up, parks his car, starts fixing the letters in the billboard that say flu shots Saturday. I think it said that. It said flu shots or something like that.
Yeah, it was really confusing.
Yeah, the letters were peeling out. Then Sue pulls up saying, hey, you're in my parking spot. He says, oh no, that's reserved for the principal. She says, yeah, I'm the acting principal right now. He says, oh, I know. Which doesn't make sense because he literally just said that's for the principal.
What do you mean? It all adds up.
You know what? Hold on. Let me get my calculator.
Yeah, type that one in.
Let me carry the one.
Check that one out.
Oh, yeah, that does add up.
It does, yeah. I figured. I mean, I imagine they wouldn't make a show that doesn't make any sense, you know?
You're right. When you're right, you're right. So she tells him, like, oh, you got to move your car. He says, oh, well, joke's on you. It won't turn on for 6 hours after I turn it off. We get his whole introduction of, I need a catchphrase, which he says.
Aren't there always, like, small claps every time he says it, too?
Yeah.
It's like a little applause.
We find out that the reason that the current principal isn't there is because he had an accident with quotation marks while he was wearing bear claws. Now, you can't see this because this is an audio medium, but I was doing the quotation marks that he did, the air quotes.
The whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. We go inside. Sue talks to Ennis and Larry, saying, we found these drugs in a student's locker. Ennis pops them, and then says, wait, you found these in a locker? Spits them out. Which I don't understand what the joke was, because they do that again later.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, you know, it's random drugs, so the joke is like, you shouldn't be doing them anyway, but the thing that makes you spit them out is that they were found in a locker.
Yeah, I guess. She says...
It's high art, Ed.
It's very highbrow.
Yeah,
you're right.
I know.
The brow is so high, it's in the hairline.
It's sickening, honestly.
Sue says, we're going to give these to the science teacher to figure out what these drugs are. And also, we didn't kick ass on No Child Left Behind, so we need to cut a teacher if we don't make money.
Of course.
Yeah. Then her and Larry have a conversation about how Larry was supposed to be the science teacher, but he was beat out by Miracle because she stripped to prove that she didn't descend from a monkey. He says, can we get a flashback? Does that joke again like 2 seconds later.
Yeah, Family Guy.
Yeah. Sue says they're not going to flash back to it.
No.
Then Willard goes over to Ennis, who's in the locker room. Oh, there's another little plot that I forgot to mention. Helen was caught in a gym locker.
Oh my god, yeah, thank you. Bring this up. This is disgusting. I hate this.
Yeah, she was trying to flirt with a student who is a 23-year-old man, but she hides in the gym locker for 3 days. And she says, well, it would have been longer than 3 days if I had brought my gas mask. She was only found because Happy was going through spraying gas in every single locker. That's besides the point. Well, it gets a little bit to the point.
And I mean, she was like near nude in that locker.
Yeah, it was very creepy. But we get to the locker room. Ennis is there changing, saying that, oh no, one of the teachers is going to get sacked because the budget cuts and all that shit from No Child Left Behind. And Willard says, oh no, well, a student caught me buying dirty magazines today. Can you hide these? Because I don't want, if I get caught with dirty magazines, then that's my job. And he goes, yeah, sure thing, buddy. All while Andrew is inside a locker doing the same thing that Helen was doing.
Ugh. God.
Yeah.
Why? Just like why? And why does it have to be these two characters who are coded as queer? Why are they also pervs just hiding in lockers?
I don't know. They just it's upsetting that they did that, but it is Fox. Fox tends to toe that line, which is unfortunate, but
yes. But we love you. I don't know.
Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, Bob's Burgers. We love you. That's it. Period.
Yeah. Simpsons, you're hit or miss right now, but
yeah, we're still working out our feelings about you.
Hey, Bones? Hey, remember Bones?
Oh, I remember Bones. Remember Buffy, Angel, and Firefly?
I hate to break it to you, but that was UPN, was Buffy.
Buffy and Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Firefly?
They canceled that.
Yes, great.
So Willard's like, oh, thanks for hiding these magazines for me. He leaves, and Ennis is reading through them and goes, oh, gee, Willard, these are, like, I can't believe you bought these. He turns around. It's a bunch of students. He goes, oh, sorry. I was just looking at Willard's dirty magazines.
Also, why is he the English teacher? Like, the way this character is dressed and where he hangs out in the show makes it seem like he's the gym teacher.
That's honestly exactly what I was thinking.
So confusing.
And all these characters, okay, so in a TV show, it's funny when, like, one or two characters are, like, the dumb character. In this show, every character is the dumb character. It's overkill.
Yeah, it's like everybody is vying for the limelight in the show.
Exactly. Everybody wants to be the Joey of this show.
And that's a high bar.
That is. We get that moment because Ennis, when he says, oh, you got these magazines and you're a teacher, I'd avoid being a teacher near Sue. Willard says, well, that's my job. Ennis goes, that's where I know you from.
I kind of love that.
Then we get Miracle coming in to explain what the drugs were. She consulted the stars. She asked the stars what the drugs were. An asteroid flows by. And she goes, an asteroid? Steroids. They're roids for the ass. And they go, do you mean steroids? Oh, that's a thing?
Incredible. Great writing.
Yeah, Larry says, well, they're not my students. My students are crap at every sport. They can't be on steroids. We get a montage of them being shitty at every sport. The one that was funny was there's a skeet shooting part where he pulls the thing, the little disc goes up in the air, the kid turns and shoots the machine by accident. I thought that was pretty funny.
I mean, hey, the kid's not wrong.
Yeah. They decide they're going to test the steroids on Stuart without telling him. Something that's super bad. Don't do that.
But also, you know, if you're going to do it, it's got to be Stuart, I guess.
To be fair, I would go for Ennis, but...
I don't know. Will Forday, we get to see how he reacts, you know?
Yeah. I will say, the voice cast did kill it in this show.
Oh, yeah. They sold everything that they were given.
Yeah. The jokes that fell flat, that was on the writing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what they were given to work with is very problematic.
100%. We get a kind of teacher meeting in the teacher's lounge, talking about how, they need the money. The football team needs to win so that the alumni will donate, which I'm pretty sure that's a college thing. That's not a high school thing, but...
Maybe. I mean, I thought that was a funny joke, the alumni getting the money because they're jumping in the stands. That's a smart one, I feel like that deserves some merit.
See, I like the flashback because this is when we get a flashback to the principal and his accident. We see, Andrew references that he should have never adapted Edward Scissorhands for the stage, and we get a flashback of the audience's perspective, and it says, Edward, if you didn't have scissors for hands, you'd be so normal. Well, I don't want to be, quote unquote, normal. And as he says, quote unquote, you see blood splatter on the audience. That was a good one. I enjoyed that joke.
Yeah, there are a couple of jokes that genuinely made me giggle.
Yeah, the next one, Helen says, well, 16 years ago, there was a time capsule buried.
Oh my God.
And we get a flashback. It's in like sepia. It looks like the 1890s. It says 1993. And she goes, oh, there was this bottle of this really expensive wine buried. And now it's worth hundreds of dollars.
And there's a newspaper in the flashback that says OJ named like most like friendly or successful Negro. And it's like, what the F? Like, this is 1993. What's happening?
I did not read that part. Oh, God.
It's horrible.
Oh, man. I don't like that one bit.
Yeah. It really made the show, like, even worse than it already was.
That definitely just ruined that scene. So Helen is tasked with digging up and looking for the time capsule. And Stuart is assigned as assistant coach because they're testing the steroids on him. They tell him it's vitamins. Then we get the sports practice. I don't know why I said sports. We get to the football practice, and he asks him, hey, how do your testicles feel? And we get a flashback of him. He grinds a skateboard, falls on a trash can, hits his junk. Something else hits his junk, and he goes, they really don't. Except for I got a little tingle when the librarian hit me with a shovel. And then we get a flashback of her digging. She accidentally hits him with the shovel in the junk. He's smiling. His jacket, instead of assistant coach, says ass coach.
Perfect. It's a good gag.
Yeah. Then we cut to the German classroom where Willard's saying, okay, goodbye is auf Wiedersehen. They say goodbye. He goes, no. I need you to, I can't lose this job. I need you to say off. Say off. And they all go off. Ennis comes in thinking they're laughing. He goes, how dare you laugh at this man for buying pornography? And he just starts pulling out and naming all the magazines. And they start laughing. He goes, well, now that sounds like real laughter. And then we cut back to the football practice. Larry is just like, man, I really wish I could talk to Miracle. And Stuart says, maybe it's just the vitamins talking, but I need you to see this through. You need to go after her. So he goes to talk to her. She goes, yeah, I'm working on this starvation strike where everybody's, starving themselves instead of eating. And he looks at the list and he goes, well, no shit, my football players suck. Half the football team's on here. And she gets offended and walks off. Stuart comes over and Larry reveals to him, oh, those weren't vitamins. They were steroids we found in a student's locker. He spits them out and goes, a locker?
Da-dun-cha. Classic.
Yeah. There's this, in that scene, he also says, it would suck if you got fired, Miracle. She goes, yeah, I know. Science would be the first to go. It's just a bunch of made-up shit to sell pharmaceuticals.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's how we get that's why you got that whole anti-vaxxer vibe.
Yeah. I picked up on that.
Then we get to the football game. Helen's still digging for the time capsule. Sue says, oh, do you want to ask for a break so I can say no to something? She goes, nah, I'm stoked. I got the testosterone flowing. She goes, oh, well, I really wanted to say no to something. Walks away. Ennis says, hey, Willard, good job hiding your porn. And the crowd starts chanting, porn, no, porn, no. He goes, no porn, no porn. Oh, hey, Sue. I'm just chanting no porn because trying to get the students not to talk about porn. And she goes, oh, cool. Walks away. Andrew decided to take over for the cheerleaders because he is revealed to be bisexual and vying after both Larry and Miracle. So he does a cheer to try and impress them.
But he has a joke, too, where he's like, I won't test well. And I think it's a reference to, like, he won't do well with demographics. And I thought that was kind of funny, but, yeah, that's the extent of his character, I feel.
Pretty much. This is when we find out that Stuart has breasts, and he starts cheering, and everybody gets distracted by his breasts, including their football players. The other team grabs the football, starts running to the end zone. Helen jumps up, sacks him, grabs the football, and books it to the other end zone, scores, and they go, we won the game! Then it hard cuts to the teacher's lounge and says, I can't believe we lost the game.
Well, did you also mention that Stuart has a beautiful pair of voluptuous breasts that he was just dancing with on the field?
Oh yeah, I mentioned that. I didn't mention his primo dumper, though. He did have a primo dumper.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's wearing a tank top in the teacher's lounge to show him off, I guess. Because there was a lot of cleavage there.
Yeah, the boobs get real big real fast. And I mean, that's not how any of that works.
No, not at all. So they go, yeah, I mean, we should have expected they'd lose. They didn't count Helen's touchdown. She's not a player. Then we find out the steroids were female hormones. Turns out they were Helen's. And then they find a pile of dirty magazines on the table, start reading through them. And Ennis goes, oh, you found Willard's dirty magazines. And Sue says, oh, Willard, you poor, poor, lonely man. You're fired. That's the end of the episode.
But there, if I could just say one thing, there is a weird moment where they ask Stuart if he wants to keep his breasts and keep taking the estrogen. And he's like, he takes a moment and he really thinks about it. And then he says no. And I felt like that was the most thought that they could have committed to making that any measure of sensitive to trans or queer people.
Yeah, they didn't do a good job with that. This show is just offensive to so many communities. It's unbelievable that this aired.
And Happy only has like 3 appearances in the episode, which I think is maybe too much, maybe too many.
I think just the character of him existing for the sole purpose of racist jokes was kind of too much.
But hey, sit down and shit up.
Well, we're gonna stand up and shit down when we come back.
Hi, I'm Drew.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Tanner, and we are the hosts of Headline Heroes.
Every week we take a bizarre, out there article,
Germans build underground pipeline for beer.
and attempt to create a superhero or villain.
The obvious one is that they have a giant robot that runs off of beer.
Along the way, we discuss powers, design a costume, and of course, struggle with a name.
Graham Sam? No.
Damn, Sam, no!
And inevitably, we get off subject and talk about the really important stuff.
I did go to Bill Engvall's website, and I just want to tell you a couple of things I'm seeing here.
Please do, I wish you would. But we always arrive with the super creation we are proud of. Join Headline Heroes every Tuesday as we try to make reality a little more super.
So, Andy, since this show does have a heavy emphasis on catchphrases, I think this is the perfect time for our segment, Catchphrase You Later. And I think since Stuart's catchphrase is, I need a catchphrase, I think he needs a catchphrase. We got to give him one.
Oh, boy.
I do think this could be a fun thing where he has a different catchphrase each episode and he's trying to still figure out a catchphrase.
Yeah, I definitely feel like out of any of the characters in the cast, Stuart is going to be the one that gets put in the zaniest situations. And so, like, maybe it's a recurring thing that at the end of each episode, he has his, like, Carlos from the Magic School Bus moment where it's like he tries out a new catchphrase and everybody's like, Stuart.
Yeah, I think that could work. What do you think some of those catchphrases would be?
Well, I mean, in the case of this episode, it would obviously be, I'm your best friend, you know?
Okay. And then at the end of the episode, he's like, well, now I need a new catchphrase. Oh, there it is. I need a new catchphrase, he says at the very end of the episode.
A new catchphrase, yeah.
Let's try, generic only, please.
Ooh.
Like anytime someone hands him something like, oh, do you want a Coke? Generic only, please.
How about, jet fuel can't melt steel beams? Do you think he would say something like that? I'm not sure where I'm getting that thought from. I'm not sure. It just came out of the blue in my mind. Do you think he would say that, though?
I think maybe he could say that at some point.
I think he said it. I think he did.
I think he would say it because he saw someone say it and goes, that's a fun catchphrase, but he doesn't know the meaning behind it.
Ooh, that could be a whole episode.
Like, he thinks it means, like, something like, I don't know, jet fuel can't melt steel beams, like...
Sticks and stones might break my bones.
Yeah, exactly. like, no matter how hard things get, your steel beams will still be standing.
Yeah. No matter how hard life is, there's one truth we can all accept. Jet fuel cannot melt steel beams.
I think maybe...
Oh, what do you got?
I was thinking, like, slow down there, Gary Coleman.
Ooh.
But, like, he's saying Gary Coleman, like, sarcastically, like, he thinks, like, that's the epitome of fame.
Oh.
So, like, anytime someone's, like, being, like, bougie and, like, over the top, he's like, slow down there, Gary Coleman.
Oh, he's having, like, a Coleman moment.
Exactly, a Coleman moment.
Ah, yeah. You gotta cut them down to size.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Honestly, it's pretty hard to think of catchphrases. So can you tell me what some of the other ones were again? Do you have them in front of you, perhaps?
Oh, yeah. So Sue Says No's was no.
Right, yeah.
Larry's was why can't someone else teach PE? Ennis was catchphrases are for losers. Which I think that could be part of an episode where, like, Stewart's trying to find a new catchphrase. And he's like, catchphrases are for losers. And he's like, well, maybe I'm a loser. Or maybe I don't need a catchphrase.
Yeah, or maybe he copies one of their catchphrases. And, like, there's a controversy about it because for some reason catchphrases are very important in this universe. It's the one thing we know.
That could work if he's like, he just says no to something. And Sue's like, hold up. That's my catchphrase. And he's like, but that's just a word.
Ed, we've written 10 seconds of a new episode. We wrote the first joke.
Then we get a yes man situation. Stewart won't say no to anything because he doesn't want Sue to get mad at him for stealing the catchphrase.
I'm into that. Yeah, and then, like,
Someone comes up like, do you want us to, like, switch suppliers for school beef? It's only 15% beef now, so it's spelled B-E-E-E-F. Because legally it can't be spelled B-E-E-F. So he's, like, trying to say no, but he's like, well, I can't say no. So then everybody in the school gets sick. That could be, like, the B plot. And Miracle is going to try some of her, like, she's like, oh, we don't need medicine for this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a drum circle. Oh. And because Larry is in love with her, he goes along with it.
I think that at the end of the first season, Stewart has found his catchphrase, and it has to do with bringing everybody together as a family. I think his catchphrase would be something along the lines of, catchphrases are like family.
Catchphrases are like family.
Catchphrases are like Ohana means family.
Ohana means forget about it.
Forget about it.
That's from Lilo and Stitches Get Snitches. Wait, no, hold on. Snitches Get Stitches.
What if he just tries to do like takes on other TV show characters' catchphrases? Like what? So the show came out in 2009. Well, you know what the biggest show to come out in 2009 was, right?
Family Matters.
Close. It's a little show with a little word in it that I like to say, bazinga.
Oh no. That was 2007, by the way.
Oh, it was 2 years before? Oh, wow.
I hate that I know that.
Wow, yeah.
That was right off the dome. Why do I know that?
Yeah, I like baited you into this.
Is this like an intervention for me knowing facts about the Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ed, but I think you've been cosplaying as Leonard for the past 8 years.
We need you to stop saying bazinga. You know, if there's a seat that you want on the couch that someone else is sitting in, just sit somewhere else. You don't need that one seat.
I'm going to write a new show called Old Sheldon, and it's going to be about what's wrong with Sheldon when he gets older and why everybody fucking hates him.
Can Wallace Shawn play Sheldon?
Oh my god, Wallace Shawn is Sheldon.
Okay, well, I just tricked you because Wallace Shawn is in young Sheldon as his therapist, so...
So you're tricking me into tricking yourself to reveal that you know more about Sheldon than I do.
Yeah, it's a reverse intervention.
Shit. Oh god, I gotta get you out of here.
Oh man, it's an Ouroboros. The snake done ate itself.
Maybe that's Stewart's catchphrase is, "This is an intervention."
But he says it at the wrong time.
Or the wink. The wink is the catchphrase.
See, I like this is an intervention, though, because like there could be a school assembly and he goes, "Everyone, this is an intervention."
It's just something I say.
Yeah. You know, it's just a catchphrase. So what kind of episodes do you think we would have seen?
Well, I think we described, a couple potential ideas that we could explore. But really, I think what I wanted to see more of is, just 5 more episodes of Happy. I think we need a whole Happy arc,
So I think the show was there were way too many characters.
Yeah. So we had to kill some off, right?
Yeah, there was too much going on. So I'm thinking maybe season finale is when we kill someone off, and that's like the big selling point, like, who's gonna die?
Happy.
No, actually it's Merch.
Oh my god.
And he dies of SIDS at the very end, but very, very like
comedically?
Yeah, not comedically. No, a baby died, Andy.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on, Ed. We got 18 minutes to fill in the show. They
just kind of like don't point it out until the very end. It's like, oh, by the way, Merch died of SIDS.
Oh, they like look at the camera?
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. I think we should get an episode where they just re-air one of the Australian episodes.
But they rotoscope it, like they draw new characters over it?
No, I think they should just show one of the episodes from the Australian show.
Okay. I think, so, classic school, trope here, stealing mascots.
Ooh.
I think there's got to be a plan to steal, like, their rival school's mascot before the big football game. And Ennis and Willard are just like, well, not Ennis and Willard. I think just Ennis. Ennis is an idiot. Ennis and Stewart, they think that means, steal whoever's in the mascot suit. So they kidnap someone in the mascot suit. And, we get like a scene like in James Bond where like he's on the chair, they're swinging the rope and hitting him in the balls.
Mm. Ooh, and Casino Royale, as you know, came out the same
in 2007.
day.
Just kidding, it was 2006.
Oh. we doing here, Ed? Do you just know everything about 06, 07, 08?
I don't know why I know this. This is a serious problem, Andy. I don't know why I know the fucking release dates. I know the years that things came out in.
What day did Revenge of the Sith come out?
Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005.
Yes, what day? I know the day. I can tell you.
Well, was it May 4th?
No, it was May 5th, 2005. So it could be 5505.
Damn it. I was going to say May 5th.
May the 5th be with you.
Revenge of the 5th.
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is I think there should be an episode where Stuart remembers all the release dates for things that came out in 2005 and 2006.
I just cracked the code of the series finale.
Oh, what is it?
Stuart hits his head. Remembers, he was the principal.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. I love that.
And it's going to be like a whole like goodbye to Sue.
Oh.
But at the very end, he goes, I could use a vice principal. And there's like this touching moment where it's like a and they're like looking back at each other and she says,
No.
Oh, hell no, I'm principal or nothing.
No, I think she should just say, no.
There we go. No.
No. Oh, this show. I don't know where you go with it. I don't know. I think you just got to sit down and shut up and let it, let it just kind of die out. So only one season on this, right?
Only one season.
That's good.
Well, Andy, that is the premise of Unaired, so.
I mean,
you've been on since the beginning.
Well, I know we watched one thing once that had a second season that we realized, and we were like, ah. And I think it was a Jason Bateman thing.
It might have been.
See, because you never know with this guy.
You never know. I mean, that's why we got the whole month to him.
Chasing Bateman.
Chasing Bateman. Welcome to our new podcast, Chasing Bateman.
By the way, I think we should probably pitch an episode that's, or at least talk about his character a little bit. What we could do with him. I think the coach there. He's he's pretty fucking boring.
He is, which I think is a problem with a lot of Jason Bateman characters.
Yeah, they're usually like very vanilla. Well, other than my gay best friend.
Yeah, that's true. Holy shit. This podcast started with a fucking Jason Bateman show.
Yeah.
I don't know if I even realized that last Bateman-uary.
He is built into the DNA of the show, Ed. He's essential.
Yeah, I just took a DNA test. Turns out
I'm 100% that Bateman.
Yeah. It's a Bateman. We got a big sign. It says, it's a Bateman.
Not Batman.
Not a Batman. We made that mistake once. We got sued.
You can't have Bateman without Batman.
It's true. So I think his character, I think the obvious choice is to have him like go on a date with Miracle.
Yeah, but I want them to like continue getting at odds with each other, they don't go well together as people.
That's true. And I think they realize that in the show.
And I think there's some, mileage out of that could be said, like some funny moments, maybe he gets his flu shot or something, or, they do the flu shots at the school or something, and she, has like a strike against it. Maybe he's for it. Yeah.
And I do think one time he finds out that Murch is actually a little person, and this is a Little Man situation. You know the hit film Little Man?
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm well aware of Little Man. I've watched that quite a few times.
The Wayans Brothers vehicle?
Oh, yes, the Wayans Brothers filmography.
I think that was the follow-up to White Chicks. But yeah, we find out he's just been a little person this whole time. And he dies
of SIDS.
And he dies. Somehow he dies of SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome.
He was an anti-vaxxing little person.
Well, ain't that how it goes?
That's America.
This is America. I think that's going to do it for this episode. Andy, thanks for coming on. And your podcast, tell people about it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks so much for having me on. My podcast is called 5 Qs with Anders Croft. The Q is short for questions. It's a show where I bring on interesting people and creators that I've met throughout my life. And I ask them 5 questions that I come up with. And it could be anything between how are you doing, to what's your couch like, to what's your favorite brand of soda pop when you're doing backyard wrestling. So things like that. And we're on Spotify now, iTunes, anywhere you listen to podcasts, basically.
Yeah, and I'll put a link in the description. Definitely check that out. It is a fun show. I was on it.
Yeah, Ed was a great guest, and I definitely recommend his episode.
And I definitely recommend you check out every episode, because, if you love Unaired, Andy's been here this whole time. You gotta love Andy.
Oh, you don't have to love me. You don't have to touch me either. Please don't.
No, Andy.
Yeah.
I'm telling them right now.
To touch
they
me?
No. They have to love you.
Oh, yeah. They can love me.
They don't have to touch you.
Yeah.
No, you're sometimes you're greasy. I don't want them to
Yeah, I
have to
don't want
touch you.
anybody to touch me ever.
No.
I'll get sick.
No, yeah, flu season.
Yeah, I haven't been vaccinated.
Yeah. So yeah, and also check out all of our stuff on, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Unaired Podcast. So we also have a little bit of an announcement with a new release schedule. So new episodes of On Air are going to start going up on every other Tuesday instead of every other Thursday. So just keep an eye out for that. Every other Tuesday now. And yeah, just remember, some things are better left unaired. Bye.